All right, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day, and here we are at this beautiful waste transfer facility. Why are we celebrating a waste transfer facility? Well, in this case, it's on the incredible north side, and we are bringing this building back to life. With the help of $4 million from the EPA, thank you so much to the EPA and the Biden administration, and then $3 million from the city, we're making sure that this waste transfer facility is open to Northsiders and people throughout our city. Here, they're able to dump their trash, their recycling, their mattresses, whatever it is that they need, they can do it right here in their very own neighborhood. And we're trying at the city to cut back on our waste stream. We're trying to get to zero waste throughout the city because we don't want to be putting all sorts of trash in our landfills. We don't want to be dramatically adding to our carbon emissions. We want to be doing our part in the city of Minneapolis to help the environment. And part of that is making sure that we're reducing our waste stream. And when we do throw things out, we're doing the proper thing with it. This waste transfer facility is going to be state of the art. We're going to make sure that people throughout the north side are able to utilize it in full capacity. And beyond that, it helps with a number of other things as well. This makes sure, we're going to make sure that the backside of this waste transfer facility along the river allows for green space to be added. We want to create a full connection up and down the riverfront. We want to make sure that there are jobs for people in the community right here at this waste transfer facility. And of course, we want to do the thing that is environmentally right and sound. Where you put your trash matters. How you dispose of your trash matters. What you're doing with organics and recycling, it matters to our world, and we are world citizens here in Minneapolis, and we're going to be doing our part. I want to give a huge thank you to the EPA, to Janet McCabe, to Deborah Shore, to the whole Biden administration for everything that they've been doing. You know, I got to say, we have not seen funding like this, certainly during my lifetime. It makes a gigantic difference. The funding that we got through the EPA and the funding that we're getting through the IRA, quite simply, it's helping to save our world. It's helping to reduce carbon emissions. It's helping to reduce waste. It helps cities do the regular day-to-day work that cities need to do. And as we know, there's no Democrat or Republican way to deal with the trash or pick up snow. At least there shouldn't be. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it in the environmentally sustainable way, and we're going to unite around a common vision around it. So, again, with that, a big thank you. These things take partnerships to make happen. Partnerships with incredible organizations like the EPA, partnerships with the MPCA and Katrina Kessler. A big thank you to our commissioner back here as well. Partnerships with the state. A huge thank you to our city staff, including our COO, Margaret Anderson Kelleher, to our interim public works director, Brett Jelly, and to the guy that knows waste perhaps better than anybody else, Dave Herberholz over here. Who has been fighting and advocating for this for quite some time. So again, a huge thank you to everybody. And with that, it is my great honor to turn it over to EPA Deputy Administrator Janet McCabe.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Fry. Good morning, everybody. It's so great to be here out of Washington, D.C. and in Minneapolis to celebrate this really incredible project. And you've just illustrated your leadership, Mayor, in the way you've described the opportunity we have here. And in recognizing the importance of all of us understanding what we do with our waste. I completely agree. What we do with our waste matters. We at EPA have long recognized the importance of sustainable materials management and landfill diversion as a way to reduce carbon emissions and help address the global warming crisis that we're in. It's amazing what you can do. Recycling, composting, and other forms of energy recovery can prevent the release of more than 193 million metric tons of carbon dioxide in 1 year. That's the equivalent to removing almost 42 million cars off the road. So you think you just throw away one thing, but when you put everybody's one things together, it makes a huge difference. So recycling is one of the best things we can do to combat the climate crisis and clean up our communities. And as the mayor said, it has so many other benefits. It creates jobs. It gets people engaged in their community. It makes places a nicer place to live. As we say at the EPA, it feeds many birds with one scone. But solid waste management in this country has significantly suffered from a lack of investment, and too many communities lack the proper infrastructure and funding support that's needed for waste collection, and especially recycling and composting, because that's a little bit more complicated and a little harder than just taking the trash in. Our landfills, so many of them, have reached their maximum capacities, and they increase greenhouse gas emissions every day as that waste decomposes. That affects the local communities, it affects ecosystems, and it further exacerbates environmental inequities that face communities across the country. So President Biden absolutely understands this, and so does Administrator Regan and all of us at EPA. And that's why the Biden-Harris administration invested a groundbreaking $275 million through the bipartisan infrastructure law to launch what's known as the Solid Waste Infrastructure for Recycling Program, otherwise known as SWIFR. This is the largest grant program that we've ever had to upgrade and improve the capacity of local waste management systems, just like this one, all across the country. So it's specifically focused on allowing underserved and overburdened communities to take that major step forward. It's enough money that you can make a major step to keep valuable resources out of our landfills and incinerators and significantly contribute to reducing our carbon footprint. Thanks to the SWIFR program, the City of Minneapolis received $4 million to help redevelop this transfer station right here into this new residential self-haul resource recovery site. These upgrades will divert 60% of waste that was previously going into landfills. 60%, that is pretty awesome. And you heard the city itself is putting money into this program as well, and the state also very supportive. So with Minneapolis working to transform this site into a new residential self-haul resource recovery site, recycling and resources will become more accessible for the communities that it's intended to serve. I would just observe too, I've lived in cities where going to the transfer station on Saturday morning was a big social thing, and people got dates doing that. So hopefully that'll work out for residents here too. You never know who you'll meet. You never know who you'll meet at the recycling facility. So we want to invest all over the country in recycling infrastructure and waste management systems that are the systems of the future, where we understand all the implications of how we deal with our waste, so we can help mitigate the climate crisis, support our local economies, create good paying, clean energy jobs right here in people's communities, move towards that circular economy where we're not throwing away so much stuff, and move closer to EPA's national recycling goal of increasing the overall recycling rate to 50% by 2030. So I'm really looking forward to touring the facility, learning more about the upgrades that are planned for the coming weeks and months, and hearing about the success of this project in the future. Thank you all so much for coming, and I think I'm turning it over to Commissioner Kessler.
All right.
Thank you, Deputy Administrator McCabe. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to my former colleagues at the city. It's great to be here with all of you today. I appreciate being a part of this celebration. I'm Katrina Kessler. I'm the Commissioner of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. And here in the Twin Cities, we really value our clear lakes, our vast park system, our impressive trails, as well as our natural environment. And this is all maintained within a bustling urban center. But operating behind the scenes and under the ground are these critical infrastructure components that keep our city clean and waste out of the environment. To preserve this beauty, we need to continue to be vigilant and take action. Collectively, the 7-county metro area generates a lot of trash, 3.3 million tons a year, and this number is expected to increase by 20% over the next couple decades. Unfortunately, at the same time, the recycling rates in the Twin Cities metro area have remained stagnant, below 50% for the past 5 years, which means more waste is going to landfills and waste to energy facilities. In 2014, the legislature at the state level set a goal for the Twin Cities metro area of achieving a recycling rate of 75% by 2030. And it's an ambitious and really important target, and it will require local governments like the city of Minneapolis to lead and to partner with others, like on this project, that will make it easier to recycle. And we need to make recycling and composting easier for everyone, for people that live in multifamily housing, for people who might not have personal vehicles or less access to transportation. And this reimagined facility will reduce the amount of trash that is going to landfills and make recycling more equitable and accessible. The MPCA recently rolled out a solid waste metro management plan for the 7-county metro area, and that includes 70 strategies to reduce the waste that residents create and to manage waste more sustainably. And the Walz administration is committed to working across agencies to make Minnesota the best place for families and for kids. And that's why the MPCA is collaborating with cities and counties and townships to help Minnesotans across the state reduce waste. As we celebrate Earth Month for this entire month of April, I am particularly pleased that my city, the city of Minneapolis, is leading this important work. We know that recycling requires actions from individuals. You heard this from Deputy Administrator McCabe. And recycling at this facility will help people make it more accessible, but it also helps raise awareness about things like, do we need to buy new things? Can we extend the life of the things we already have? Or is there a way to work in reuse? From shopping bags to beverage containers, items that otherwise would end up in the landfill. And it's going to take all of us together to ensure that this Twin Cities and the city of Minneapolis continues to be a great place for generations to come. So I'm really pleased to be here with all of you. Thank you very much. And I'm not entirely sure who. Okay, so next, COO Anderson Kelleher.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, again, I'm Margaret Anderson Kelleher. I'm the City Operations Officer for the City of Minneapolis. I was also the Public Works Director when we applied for this grant, and I'm so excited that we're all here today celebrating this great moment. I want to thank Director McCabe. I want to thank the Biden administration for their support. This is a monumental thing. When and I also want to thank Dave McNary from Hennepin County, give a wave. Hennepin County is our partner on all of this work. And it's so important that Director McNary is here today and that we will continue to work together with Hennepin County. So this project represents many things. One is being able to advance our zero waste goals in Minneapolis. And I will tell you, as a longtime Minneapolis resident, if going to the South Transfer Station in South Minneapolis was a great experience, this is going to be a fantastic experience for people who live on the north side and in Northeast Minneapolis. You might not think that those couple of miles make a difference, but we are dealing with human behavior here about what we do with our waste. And we're going to make it a lot easier to reduce construction debris that's right now residential construction debris that's going into the waste stream. It can be diverted here. So many other items can be diverted at this facility in the near future. I think that is the promise of this. Our communities, especially in North Minneapolis, are overburdened by a lot of stressors, including just the mere drive down to the south side. And so being able to come here, being able to work with your neighbors, if you're remodeling your bathroom, you're taking something out, you're fixing the house, you can bring that construction debris here in the future. And that's going to be a heck of a lot more convenient and help us get to those zero waste goals in the city of Minneapolis. I also want to say the mayor's vision of what he talked about. This is an amazing site. On the back side of this, you will see the Mississippi River, the jewel of our state, and how we need to protect it. we also can have a situation here where people can enjoy it more. I joke to the mayor, maybe in the future there'll be weddings performed right up here at the transfer facility looking out on the Mississippi. Or if the park board comes to fruition with their bike trail that's going to cross at 26th Avenue, you can go over to Broken Clock Brewery, have a beer, and be able to come on back and drop off your stuff, or maybe the other way around. So we're excited about this. This is going to help us achieve those zero waste goals. That's important. It's important we're providing even more services for our residents and helping them be able to do the right thing with their construction debris and other things to get it here without making that drive to the other transfer station on the south side. I want to introduce Interim Director Brett Jelly, who's going to tell you a little bit more about this.
Good morning, everyone. Brett Jelly, Interim Director of Public Works, and I get the really fun job of recognizing all of the work from the Public Works staff team that made this happen. So under the direction and support of Director Dave Herberholz, the staff team, and I want to particularly recognize Kelly Kish and Angela Brenny, who are going to raise their hand, wave, thank you, who really did a lot of work with great EPA staff to get us to the point where we have, we can celebrate today. And of course, they're going to stay connected to the project as it moves forward. I really, it's just been a joy to work with the solid waste and recycling team. I see others here. You won't find a group that's more dedicated to service for our residents and for the environmental goals that this project represents. As City Operations Officer Anderson Kelleher said, making it easier for people to do the right thing, to dispose of materials in an environmentally beneficial way is really a key to reaching our goals, and I think this project is a great step in that direction. And so thank you, and I'll turn it back to the mayor.
Dave, are you going to do
Well, let's bring up the man, the myth, Dave Herberholz here.
You're killing me. Good morning, everybody. Dave Herberholz, I'm the Director of Solid Waste and Recycling, a Division of Public Works for the city, and very pleased to be here and pleased to have all of you here. I'd like to say that this we had a vision for not just this property, but our South Transfer Station on trying to make the sites more resource recovery friendly, and the direction shifted from the south to here. We actually in 2019 had a consultative study done, had a vision for this property, and this is what we needed. We needed the support, this grant from the EPA to give us that push to redeveloping this site. So we're very, very pleased and very happy to have the support of EPA. Thank you again for all the work that Rhiannon did from the EPA along with my staff on preparing for this event. Just a few fast facts about this facility. So up until 2020, this was actually our operations facility. So we ran all of our trucks that go out and do the collection of solid waste, recycling, organics in the city out of this operation. We moved into a new facility in May of 2020 out in northeast Minneapolis, and that allowed us to really look at this site in a different lens for future development, and that's where this grant fits in so nicely. The North Transfer Station here hasn't been operational, but it's been a permitted facility since 1971. It's in an industrial area, you see here, and we're converting it into a residential drop-off. It's got easy access for recycling and disposal, and it's really the first of its kind in this community here, and this is North Minneapolis. We expect 5,000 visits per year to this facility and managing 2,300 tons of self-hauled materials. Once opened, the traffic that was here when we used to run trucks through here has been reduced in this area by 59%, and just makes it more ease of accessibility here for residents in the future. And first and foremost, and I guess I will kind of kick the tour off here, unless you want to field any questions. Yeah, we'll have the mayor field questions.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll open it to any questions you might have.
Did you say 5,000 visits a year and 2,300 tons?
2,300 tons, yes.
Of recycled material?
Recycled discards.
Discard.
Anybody else? All right, let's take a tour.
We can start the tour, and I guess